everyone, and welcome back to Owoh's Corner, my own little corner of art. And in today's stream, I am going to be working some more on my animation. So, right now, I'm actually working on, I believe this is the last scene. Yeah, scene 5, the last scene, where essentially what happens in this scene is there's sort of this energy orb that is supposed to, well, actually, I can show you. There's just this energy orb that's supposed to fly around and flits around, and then it's supposed to slam down, and then from that is a table, a round table, and then there are multiple chairs that are supposed to turn, and then you get this slow zoom out, and then afterwards you see the number 13 begin to manifest, and the shot is meant to linger there. So that's pretty much what I've been working on. And I will say that my animation skills have definitely gotten better. Like, if I'm being completely honest, they're just a whole lot better because I remember earlier when I had first started this, it was, I don't want to say crap, but I definitely did struggle. But as I have continued to animate and work on this project, I have gotten better. And real quick, I don't know if like you guys can hear it, but my voice is a bit deeper, maybe a bit more sick sounding. Yeah, I'm coming away from this. I don't want to call it a cold, but I definitely had a sore throat. It's not COVID or anything. It's just, flu season. I've been drinking coffee, drinking tea. I also carry a what's it called? Not a thermos. I carry a water bottle with me to work so that I can drink some water while in between stuff I do. I've also started wearing a mask again. Again, not because I have COVID, but just to defend myself. Anyway, let me work on this. So I finished the elf character for scene 3, I believe. So really what's left for me to do in scene 3 is to just color everything. Like, that's really all I need to do, I'm pretty sure, is just color all these characters, and then I could just add the background in After Effects. Like, that's pretty much what I'm gonna do. Let's see. Yeah, that's pretty much all that's left for me. With scene 4, let's see. I need to color this. Well, I need to draw some more. And I need to animate some more. Then it's just scene 5 and I'll be done. And honestly, so one of the good things is that because I have Thursdays and Fridays off, I can spend those days, you know, working on this project, working on that stuff. And I'm actually making good time because what I'll do is I'll work on my animations like like maybe an hour and a half before I go off to work. Then I'll go to work. Then after work, like I get home at 11. But I try to get like at least a couple minutes of animation done before I, well, crash and fall asleep. And then Thursdays and Fridays, those are really my days to work on this project. And if I'm being honest, this has been very nice. Like, I've definitely been testing myself and getting better with my animations. And it feels good because just because I have a job, just because I work in retail, I don't want to stop. Like, I spent 4 years in college, and like for the last 2 years of that, I was at home taking care of my grandmother, and it's like, why stop at retail? Like, where I'm at now, it's all just temporary. Like, I know that something better is gonna come. It just is gonna take time. And am I afraid? I'm not gonna lie. A part of me is afraid. A part of me does have that fear that, maybe nothing will happen, or maybe I'll be stuck here, but I know that's not true. Like, if I'm being completely honest, I genuinely think that I'm in retail for a reason. Like, not a bad reason. I don't believe that. But a part of me does believe that, I'm in retail to learn something or get better at something that I was likely lacking. Everything I go through, I try to look at it with the lens of a learning experience. Like, I'm definitely working on my people skills. I'm definitely working on like customer services because one of my gosh, like this is actually a fear that I always had but I could never vocalize is I was always afraid of like dealing with money and like working a cash register cuz like I'd be afraid like oh what if I do XYZ wrong? What if I forget to ring somebody up? Or like what if I get overwhelmed and people start yelling at me? And like now that it's actually in my job, it's like it's still it's still somewhat scary and I still have that fear of like messing up. But in all honesty, it's not that bad. Like just got to take my time and sort of get used to it, I guess. And what's also nice is just the people I meet and the people who tell me their life stories in the store. You would like honestly. Mm, now I'm not trying to set anybody up, but I will say that even if you don't work in retail, you should take the time to talk to people. Like I've met many people, people who want Roku and like they talk about spending a night in at home with their husband or wife, people who need a new remote because theirs broke, people who come in wanting to know how a TV works because their niece or nephew or son like bought them a TV, people asking for Xboxes and PS4s, and you're like, sorry, we don't have any in stock. Like they're a popular item. We get them one day and they're gone that same day. Like, and it is kind of sad, but at the same time, it's also kind of exciting. Like you meet and you see many different people. You see businessmen, you see elderly old folks, you do see some problematic people like you do see some racist women, but like all in all like I'm not gonna say it's rare because I'm not trying to put anything like that in a positive light. But just so you know, you do see all kinds of people. You do get some, I'm not gonna lie, crazy folks as well. People who are just out there and strange. Like I get a lot of, I wouldn't say I get a lot of customers, but like the customers I remember the most are like customers who lick their lips a lot. Like I don't know if it's like a thing or maybe it's some type of habit they picked up. Like I get a lot of customers like they'll lick their lips or like suck on their top lip and like they'll be looking for something. And I'm like, "No man, we don't have that. No sir. Like you may have to go to another store or like I'm sorry I can't find what you're looking for." Honestly, it's now I'm not gonna lie and say I like my job. Nobody likes retail. Nobody wants to work in retail. But like it's a job. And honestly, what I have been doing is like I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. Like I get my paycheck and I spend like I put some of it in stocks. Like I'll either deposit like $50 here and there in the week or like my next paycheck I'm gonna put like $100 in stocks. But like anyway, like that's what I've been doing. And like I'm gonna slowly build up my portfolio in the stock market while I'm also working on my animation portfolio. And then as soon as another job hires me, I'm done. I'm out. Now I might go part time just because there are those small moments of like interacting with people and getting to know them that I like. But other than that, honestly, nah, I'm leaving. Like I can't. I the good times and the good eggs far are far below the bad eggs, honestly. Like I remember this one time there was this customer, and this is actually one of the good customers I had. She was looking for a headset because she started a new job and she wanted like a computer headset. And so I actually used my knowledge that I learned from I actually used my graphic design knowledge because like in high school and college, you had to sort of let me focus on this. I'm getting ahead of myself. But I actually used my graphic design knowledge because they wanted a headset for their job. They worked at a call center. And I'm like, you may want and then I was like, you may want a headset with an audio jack because those have better audio signals. And because you work at a call center, you don't want your headset to power down by accident or while you're in the middle of a call. So, get a headset with an audio jack. And she got the one with the audio jack. And she also had like some other groceries. And she was with her husband. So I'm like, you know what? This is a nice couple. I'll ring all their stuff up here. And so I was ringing them up and we were just talking and chatting. Like she was talking about her call center. She was talking about how she was, getting some gifts for her family and some other things like that. Just general conversation. And like her and her husband, they were so cute together and so nice. It honestly it was adorable. And like I just kept complimenting them. I'm like, you two are so cute together. And I bet that made their day. But anyway, yeah, it's just a nice experience. Like honestly, I try to, even though there are negative times and bad times, there are moments where I try to look at the positive aspects of stuff, even when it's hard. Even when it's hard, I try to look at the positives. Now, what I do like, and what I think I might end up doing is I might actually start, taking inspiration from my real life and from my life experiences to try and make or design characters. Like, the interesting or the different people I meet, I could sort of make characters inspired by them or like do I won't do art because then that could like cause issues. Like someone might say, "Hey, that looks like me," or like, "Hey, some like a few days or weeks down the line, like it could randomly pop up in their feed, and you're like, oh my gosh, like that's me." And wait, if that's me, then that guy who works at such and such, that's probably them. And then I'll get like in trouble. I don't want to go all that route and do that, but like I can definitely think of like some characters for my different projects and for the show that whose designs could draw inspiration from my job in retail. Like my job actually does give me a lot of inspiration for like what sort of the everyday world looks like and functions like. It gives me more perspective for my art, which is especially nice since I am working on this science fantasy show that does in fact use or at least has sort of like this modern world aesthetic to it. So now let me just work on this next chair. Okay, it's coming along somewhat nicely. My voice has just been off these past couple of days. And like I don't know if you guys can hear it or not. It's like my voice definitely sounds deeper than usual, I want to say. I mean, I know it's supposed to be deep, but like this feels, I want to say, somewhat off, maybe. It just feels strange, so to speak, I guess. Excuse that. I was applying for jobs and somehow they now think that I'm looking for like to further my education. And that really like bugs me. Like I just got out of college. I don't want to go back to college. I want a job. Anyway, it, it's not that's not the point. The point is that I am working on this animation. So let me get back to this. I got a phone call. Give me 1 second. My mother's calling. Hello, everyone, and I am. Yeah, I'm unmuted. Okay, hello, everyone, and I am back. Yes, that was my mother. She was calling me. She called to check in on me because last night she was supposed to pick me up from work and she fell asleep. So I got upset. I took an Uber home, got home, chilled out for a bit. Then at around, I want to say like 11:50, 12 o'clock, she woke up and like she just ran out the door and she started her car and she was like halfway to and she was halfway to where I work. I work around the corner. And she's like, "Where are you?" And I said, "Mom, I'm home." And then she turned around and came back home. It was funny because like I tried to stop her, but at the same time I kind of didn't want to stop her because she fell asleep another time and she just left me there at work. And I'm calling her trying to figure out where she is and what's going on. But I got her back this time. Yeah, one of the cool things about how I animated this is that I can easily just sort of like redo and what's it called? Copy and paste frames so it doesn't take me as long. Like, I really just need to animate this segment right here and that segment. Then I'll just, well, actually, this frame, not that frame. Then I could just loop it. Anyway, let's see. So, the reason why I am drawing all these chairs in a round table, essentially, this is where Witches 13, their sort of group meets together. They meet in like this grand meeting hall with these black chairs, and I'm actually going to animate later that like each of the chairs has a number etched into it. And so they meet here to talk. Their base is sort of in this, I want to say, subspace, or like this personal pocket dimension. And it's actually the second chair, the second leader, not the second leader, but like the second witch who is sort of in charge of housing this meeting place, because this is a part of her backstory to where something happened to her where now she can sort of control and manipulate spatial energies. And so that's why their base of operations is well fortified and well hidden. And so they meet here to talk, convene, plot, and then afterwards they sort of go out and do their own thing. Like, this is a group that has to be very coordinated because they don't have, because the many groups and organizations that they're going up against are ingrained in society and are ingrained in sort of societal norms. They have a lot of rapport and good reputation. So for them to get their revenge, they have to plan and expose the truth and almost be a bit shady with some things. Like, this is not a story about heroes. This is a story about people going against people. Like our protagonists have their own faults as well that we will be exploring through the story. As I continue to talk about this group, like, I know it's a bad thing, but I keep getting reminded of like Organization 13 from Kingdom Hearts, and like this is why it's hard for me sometimes to come up with concepts, because like I have this fear that someone's gonna come out and say like, "Oh, you just made Organization 13," or "Oh, you made XYZ," and I'm like, "No, I know it has similarities, but trust me, it's its own thing, it's its own world." Like, cause what I really don't want is for, cause what I really don't want and what I really want to avoid is this project to be taken as like some strange fan fiction where I'm just meshing things together. I don't want that. Like I'm trying to make a completely original story with an original cast and an original world. It's just sadly it keeps coming off as, at least in my mind, I'm afraid of being mistaken as like copying from other work. Which I'm not doing, and which is what I'm trying not to do. Which is what I'm not doing, and which is what I'm trying not to do. But there just exists overlap. Like, you know how sometimes it's like, what's the word? Convergent evolution, or like happenstance, or, coincidence. Like, sometimes things just overlap, and sometimes things just look or appear as though they're the same when in reality they're not. Okay, I'm gonna change the opacity of this. Which one is? Okay, yeah, I'm gonna change the opacity of this frame. I'm probably gonna change it to maybe like 30% opacity just because it does need to be, in fact, lighter for me. Because it feels like the colors are getting in the way of what I'm trying to draw and do. So let me just lighten the opacity. I definitely feel like I'm getting better I mean, like, health wise. Like, earlier I was feeling pretty bad. Now I do feel a bit better. But yeah, I'm about 52 minutes in on this stream. Oh yeah, and I do want to apologize if you're watching me now and you tuned into my last stream. Essentially what happened was I was trying to stream a bit longer, like maybe 2, 3 hours. But what ended up happening was my Wi-Fi, wonky as it is, sort of gave out. And so my stream only ended up being like an hour and 17 minutes long, which is just terrible and super unprofessional. I'd like to apologize for that. I just keep forgetting to put in my Ethernet cable into my laptop. Like, I need to really get on that and really pay attention to that because that messes me up. Like, I'm seriously trying to take this whole streaming thing and YouTube thing seriously. Like, I do have a regular schedule. It's just sometimes things can go awry with that. And like I talked for a good minute before I realized that my stream had conked out. And I do want to apologize next Friday. I mean, not next Friday, but this upcoming Friday. Definitely gonna go for 2 hours. I may even try to push for three. Who knows? It might be spectacular. It might be amazing. Anyway, yeah, let me get back to work on this. I'm almost done. I'm also thinking that I should probably have like guest stars, maybe boot up, I don't know, maybe boot up like Discord or something and talk to people while I stream. I definitely should choose my people wisely. Like, I do have some friends who, yeah, what's the word? Have no filter. They're amazing friends, okay? Like, I love my friends, but like some of them, they might end up embarrassing me, and I don't need that. Like I'm just gonna be honest. Like, they might end up embarrassing me. Hmm. What I'm checking on now is I'm actually on my phone right now, and I want to check Pokemon Go. Like, where where I work, I definitely get my steps in, and I definitely get my walking in. So like, my Empoleon is. Oop, let me lower that down. That I think that's copyright music. I don't want to mess that up. That's a whole lot better. What was I saying? Yeah, my Empoleon is definitely powerful. Like, I've been walking with him. I've actually so I walk in the morning daily, and then in the afternoon I do like resistance training and stuff like that. But like, I've been walking with my Piplup, leveled him up, evolved him, got an Empoleon now, and so now each time I like go out and I walk or I do other stuff, I try to level him up and make sure he's strong and powerful. Because he is my favorite. Like, honestly, Piplup is probably my favorite Pokemon ever, and I love its evolution line. Because it's like penguins and owls. Those are my two favorite Pokemon. Those are my two favorite animals, so that transfers over to my love of Pokemon. Okay, it is 11:06, so I do actually have to wrap up soon and get ready for work. Didn't really talk much about, well, the world and the lore, I guess. Uh, I know that's a bit bad, but like, I don't know. Like, I guess I just had a lot of stuff on my mind. Like, I really just want to leave my retail job. Like, obviously, I'm not going to quit until I find another job. It's just if I want to apply for a higher position, I have to wait 6 months. And even if I apply for a higher position, like there's no chance that I'll get it. It's like, mm, it's like I see the issues that I see the issues that my store has. And so a part of my college education was courses in leadership, management, and entrepreneurship. And so to see those issues, I I know, or at the very least, I have knowledge on how to fix the issues in place. I just don't have the authority or power to actually execute a resolution, which is very unfortunate because I see the issues in management. Like, I'm being completely 100% honest. Like, I know I'm not a perfect person. Like, I know I have my own faults and issues. And I also know that the managers that are there now were likely chosen for specific reasons. Like, I'm not downplaying that or quote unquote shitting on them for doing their job. But there are issues, and people have been quitting and have been not coming into work in the store where I work at. So obviously there is an issue going on, and there are issues that are persisting that are not be remedied, that are not being remedied and not being solved. And the managers, they're putting band-aids on issues, but they're not healing the wounds. Like they're constantly calling people to role fill or go into different positions that they didn't sign up for it, or they don't have the aptitude for, merely because they need more people. The store where I work at is a mess, and it needs serious fixing up and serious damage control. And I just don't have the power to do it. I can talk, I can suggest things, like I can maybe bring something up in general conversation if I'm with a manager or if I'm with like a supervisor. But like me myself, I don't have the influence or power. And like I do feel like I'm naturally predisposed to higher positions, not just because of my education, but I guess that's just my nature. Like I'm the kind of person where, you know, I know how to follow and I know how to put others in charge. But like when I see issue and when I see things are messy, I'm like, okay, like let me just fix this up, or let me just try and help you in whatever way I can. And at this present time, I feel like I can't help. Like I feel like it's a sinking ship. Because my initial hope and plan was to get a higher position, but I don't think that's going to be a possibility. Now, what I really and truly believe is that I may as well just let this ship sink and sort of like hop ship to another place of work. And I know that does sound disloyal and like bad, but it's like keep in mind, like I work in retail when I have a whole college degree. Like I'm not trying to make retail my life or live off of a retail salary. Like my goal and my desire is to work in an animation studio and maybe one day in the future start my own studio here in Raleigh because we really have the culture for it, and we also need more industry and jobs here in Raleigh. Like, even though Raleigh is one of the top 3 places to live, and even though we have Research Triangle Park, there are actually very few businesses and places of work here in Raleigh, which is kind of strange and kind of sad. Like, we have all these people moving here, but no place for them to work. Just apartments and housing on top of apartments and housing, which is wild and crazy to me. I'm getting this is a whole side tangent I could talk about in another stream. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is I want to open my own studio, and so now I'm just biding my time, saving my money, and like going into the stock market until I can pay for the line of work that I actually want to do, and until I can like forge the connections and get my foot in the door for the work that I've actually spent my life studying and planning and working towards. And you know, it's true. I don't know what God or the universe has planned for me, but like, and I do believe that I'm where I'm working at now for a reason. I just don't want to be here forever. It's like I'll be talking to other people and they're like, "Oh, you're so smart. You should go to college." And I'm like, "Hi, I've already went to college. Like I already have my degree." And they're like, "What you doing here in retail?" And then I'm like, "It was just the first job that accepted me. Like I'm only here temporarily." And then people always tell me like, "Oh, you're so smart. You have so much potential. Like you should definitely look at other jobs." It's like, yeah, like people always say I'm smart and I have potential, but when I actually apply for jobs, I keep getting rejected. Like that it doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up. Maybe there's like a factor I'm missing. I don't know. I don't know. So like at this point I'm just rambling. I've sort of stopped animating. I'm just talking to you guys because there are just some feelings and emotions I need to get out before I go to work. Like after I finish the stream, I'm going to pack up my lunch, sit and chill out for a bit before I go to work. And yeah, be there till 11, come home, probably work on this some more. Go to work tomorrow, then I'm off Thursday and Friday and Saturday and Sunday because it's a holiday. And it's gonna be lit. It's gonna be good. Anyway, yeah, that's about it. That about does it, I guess. This has been Owoh's Corner, my own little corner of art. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share even, comment. I barely get any comments. Like I'm looking forward to comments, even if it's mean. Like even if you want to leave a mean comment, just say something. Like start leaving comments on my videos cuz that's what I love. But yeah, I also have a buy me a coffee and a Patreon in case you guys want to support me in any way you want to. And yeah, I definitely look forward to doing more stuff, making more videos, things like that. And I guess I'll see you guys in my next video or stream. Goodbye.